I would like to add asterisk on the title of this video and tack on a yet. You shouldn't buy it yet. Or maybe you should if by the release of this video they fix the damn game. But as it stands, I don't think it's something that people should grab given the state it's in right now. And also right off the bat, I just want to say that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are probably some of, if not the best Pokemons to ever be released. So it hurts to say that I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Now, I think it's worth playing if you're a longtime fan of the series or a casual gamer that's new to Pokemon. Although I don't think there are many people out there like that, but hey, who knows? My niece is one and hasn't experienced Pokemon yet, so I can't really call her a fan. But yeah, that's my rating, just a 5. And I think the game deserves better, but let me break down why I think it's so bad. But first, let me go on a side tangent about myself. I've been playing Pokemon for as long as I can remember. Playing Pokemon on Ruby back on the 3DS. Yeah, I'm just kidding. But actually running around in Hoenn way back on my Game Boy Advance, long car rides with my family, playing Sapphire, Ruby, whatever copy my brothers would let me borrow at the time, or playing Blue with a dead battery on my fucking SP, right? And I had to plug in that SP and let it charge all night so that way the SP didn't die and I could continue my save just to get all the way up to the Elite Four, and having a dream that I beat them just to wake up to a dead SP. Sad, I know. And then going up to Gen 4, playing a little bit of Pearl and Diamond on the DS, and ultimately skipping Gen 5, but making an unbelievable and absolutely powerful return to Pokemon in Gen 6 because a good friend of mine actually gave me a whole ass 3DS, and I still have that 3DS and use it to this day actually. And just sinking hundreds and hundreds of hours in competitive Pokemon and shiny hunting, and you know, playing online with my friends, battling them in competitive or battling randos online. That's my history with Pokemon. And you know, and since Gen 6, since X and Y, I've purchased both copies of every Pokemon game sans Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee because I have my opinion about those games. Although I'll ultimately pick them back up, or pick up Eevee. That's picking up all of the other copies. You know, I absolutely love Pokemon. I really do. And because of that, I feel like me being a fanboy gets in the way of this review, and not in like a, well, look on the bright side kind of way either. It's more, it's made me more critical of what I'm looking at when I'm playing and spending my hard-earned money on. I absolutely love Pokemon, and it makes me wish that Nintendo, Game Freak, and the Pokemon Company loved it as much as I do. Also, fair warning, I'm going to be showing later game stuff and might talk about the story, so there's probably going to be spoilers, just so you know. When it comes to what's good about Pokemon, it's hard to say honestly. I've always loved Pokemon, and so pinpointing everything that's good is going to be tough, but I'll try. I love the Pokemon designs for this game. I think they have some phenomenal and just interesting Pokemon. There's some Pokemon that just have fucking witty ass names, and I love that. The play on words with the Pokemon and what they look like, their designs, like the Fido, Dachshund, like I think those two Pokemon really stick out to me because when I realized what their name was and I realized what they look like, I was like, oh, that's fucking hilarious. Pokemon takes an interesting new twist with giving you 3 different stories to play instead of the normal just go beat the gyms and then challenge the Elite Four. Instead, you have to fight giant Pokemon, you have the normal Elite Four stuff, and then you have the third part, like the third story, which is fighting the evil team instead of it all being wrapped up like into one cohesive thing. They're separate stories, but each do well by themselves. It's all fun, it's all new, they're all interesting. They got a crazy twist in the post game. They actually try to add some depth to some characters, even though it's not really that much, but they're showing that they're more than just this surface level person. You know, Team Star, the evil team of this game, is probably one of my favorite enemy teams. They're so fucking relatable, just being a bunch of fucking nerds and being bullied and clapping back. Like, it is probably every kid's fucking power fantasy if you've been picked on. Your rival, Nimona, if you play in English, they have a different name in Spanish. They're a really good rival. They seem competent, unlike most rivals we had in recent games with Hao and Hop. Like, they're not competent, and she switches, you know, what Pokemon she's using. It makes her feel like a real person because most of the time when you're playing Pokemon, your party's gonna change depending on, you know, the Pokemon around you. And so seeing her party change and stuff, it makes her feel like a freaking real trainer instead of a bumbling idiot. And they've actually already achieved something, right? You know, the region is nice, big, and beautiful. They give you the legendary Pokemon so you can ride around and explore it at a rapid pace, which is very nice. It's absolutely insane that when this game first came out, I explained how much I loved it and how fun it was and how interesting and new and different it felt. But I would always have to tell them I can't recommend buying it just because it was an absolutely buggy mess. And this is where shit takes a turn for the sad, because now I have to talk about why this game sucks fucking dog ass. And these are things that matter to me a lot. First of all, can we just talk about the overall performance issue with this game? Like, what the fuck is happening? Pokemon? Game Freak? Excuse me, you make an absolute shit insane amount of money with this goddamn franchise. So why the fuck is my game running like I'm trying to play Hogwarts Legacy on a fucking MacBook purchased back in 2010? That doesn't make any goddamn fucking sense. Why is it when I see people running this game on an emulator and it runs on 60 FPS, it looks like a completely different fucking experience? And that's the experience that we fucking deserved to get. You know, I'm spending $120 fucking dollars buying both of these copies, and you're gonna serve me fucking shit on a platter? You're fucking smoking crack. How come my game's crashing? That makes no goddamn sense. And also, why is it taking so long to fucking fix these things? Literally, it's been 3 years, or oh my god, 3 years? Oh god, that'd be a really late review. It's been 3 months since the games came out, and you literally have done nothing to fix it. Pokemon spawn in walls? Like, what the fuck? And maybe that doesn't matter to some people, but personally, a big hobby of mine, what I love doing is shiny hunting. And so when Pokemon just kind of spawn and you're not running into Pokemon, only to realize that Pokemon are spawning in walls so you can't see them, and you also literally have no way of interacting with them unless you like get to clip through the wall a little bit and like perfectly hit their paw so they fucking fight you. Like, that's insane. Why can things spawn in walls? That doesn't make any sense. And it's not just like 1 or 2 locations, it's literally around the entire map. Pokemon are spawning in walls everywhere. I've never experienced it, but people be falling through the map. People be having constant game crashes. But something I have experienced is I'll be standing in a fucking field and like 10 Pokemon spawn, and then I'm getting like 3 frames a second. Excuse me? Not to mention the fucking issues with the raid battles, like having to wait a solid minute for the game to run through a bunch of fucking like its own turns. Like the fucking raid terror raid Pokemon is just doing shit after shit after shit. And so you're sitting there for like a solid 60 seconds while the timer's going down, and you literally can't do fucking anything. Or you'll hit a Pokemon and its health won't drain, but it's hurt, and so it puts up a shield, and then you hit it again, and then its health, like, it's not making any sense. This game isn't running like it should. This game should not have been released yet. The game introduces a fun new sandwich system, and that's fine and all, but hunting for the Herba Mystica is a pain in the fucking dick because you have to deal with these shit bug fuck raids. Playing with your friends, the connectivity issues is a fucking big problem. You might not be able to connect to them. It might be a shitty connection even though you're all in the same fucking room. And then you fucking have to deal with that shit. And then sometimes Pokemon don't die in raids, but then they do, but then they don't. They come back and then they burn the rest of the time and you barely fail a fucking raid. And then let's say you run it back and you beat the raid, but then you don't get an Herba Mystica. And the whole point of running those 5-star raids is to get the Herba Mystica. And I understand that it needs to have a lower drop rate, but at the same time, you can't just put me through cock and ball torture because like 7 out of the fucking 10 fucking raids I go up to are like 4-star or lower. Like, I've literally beat the game. You should give me access to more 5-star raids, please, for the love of God. Let's say you go through the cock and ball torture of the raid battles and you get lucky enough to get an Herba Mystica, and you go out and you start shiny hunting and you start getting shinies because, hey, guess what? Getting shinies in this game is pretty fucking easy. I've caught like 60 or whatever. It's not that hard. Well, guess what? You got them, you put them in your box, and then when you try to look at them, hey, guess what? There's no fucking shiny sprites. What the fuck is up with that? And you go, okay, well, you know, I know this one's shiny, so let me just hover over it. And you hover over it, and it takes you 2 fucking seconds to load a sprite just to realize, oh, that's not my shiny one. Where's my shiny one? And sure, you can go to the menu to see that it has a little shiny sparkle, and personally I put all of my shinies in a box, but if I want to look at them, I want to look at the Pokemon I've caught. Why is it going to take me 2 minutes to switch from box to box to box? Not 2 minutes, 2 seconds. There's a 2-second load time to see what Pokemon are actually in the box. And then if you want to hover over the Pokemon, it takes you 2 seconds to load the sprite. Like, okay, it may not sound like a big deal, but it's such a fucking pain in the dick to deal with when you literally spend literally hundreds of hours. Like, I'm doing this so I can admire my collection. Why the fuck is it that I can't admire my collection? The whole point of Pokemon is to play through the story and catch all the fucking Pokemon. Well, guess what? I caught all the fucking Pokemon, and the game doesn't want to show me my fucking Pokemon. Realistically speaking, why are you going to make a game about collecting monsters and adding a system that makes it easier to catch the rare version of the monsters, just to have your game be like, yeah, if you want to look at your alternate version, you got to go look at them specifically, and also wait a minute for the system to catch up to look at what you're doing. Plus, everything feels so sluggish and clunky, and I don't even care that the game looks bad. I really don't. I'm not too picky on my fucking graphics, but the game looks like shit and runs like dick, and that don't make no goddamn sense. If it's gonna look bad, at least make it feel good, please. And it's not all bad. I mean, my initial experience with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, I was not having the most fun. The game felt sluggish, it felt clunky. I was like, damn, I really just spent $120 to play this buggy mess. But then I went over to a friend's house and I started playing locally on my handheld Switch, and the game didn't look as bad, right? Which isn't right. But I had more fun playing with my friends using their online experience. But even then, that doesn't excuse all of the other fucking glaring problems that this game has had. I feel like my thoughts on this game are in line with everyone else's. They needed more time to cook this one up in the lab, but they didn't wait. They rushed it like they did PLA, which I didn't even really play, and then they rushed BDSP, which that game's a fucking garbage shit pile. Game Freak needs to slow down and fine-tune their games, because honestly, if we get a Gen 5 remake but it looks like BDSP, I'm probably not going to buy them. And if I do, it's because 1, I want to fill out my collection because I'm a fucking fanatic, and 2 is because I got a lot of hopium running through my fucking veins. When it all comes down to it, Pokemon and Scarlet are a lot like this review. It's mediocre as fuck. The performance on the game is shit, and if it ran good, without a doubt, I think this would be probably the best Pokemon game of all time. Too bad they ain't. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video and putting up with my incessant screaming, I guess. I got pretty passionate in this one, and I figured I should probably do an end card where I'm not, you know, so upset at the game after talking about it for a while. If you liked the video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and be sure to check out the other reviews I did. I've done 2 since the posting of this video. And I also want to add a little caveat to this video. By the time it probably goes up, I know that they're working on some updates for the game, but as of the time where I wrote the script, that wasn't like information known to everyone. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you have a wonderful time.